Just when we thought that Toyota was taking a break from disrupting the market, they're back at it again. The company's CEO just revealed an all-new engine that's going to destroy the entire EV industry. Trust us when we say you haven't seen anything like this before. It has been decades since we've seen a major innovation like this, and Toyota deserves a pat on the back for taking things to the next level. This simple engine is far less complicated than your typical EV, but creates an immense amount of power compared to its size, which puts the V8s and V12s of the world to shame. We're talking as much as 120 horsepower from a mere 500 cubic centimeters of displacement, while weighing in at a mere 35 kilograms. And there's no alternate fuel trickery going on here. It's run on good old pump gas. We challenge you to say what's not to love about it. This innovative power plant is called the INN engine and comes straight out of Spain. As we mentioned earlier, the dimensions are minute, standing at just 11 inches tall, 19 inches long, and good enough for 120 horses and 180 foot-pound of torque. In the manufacturer's own words, this is not a four-stroke, not a two-stroke, a revolutionary one-stroke engine. But what exactly is a one-stroke engine? What is an engine stroke after all? Let us explain to you that first before diving into what makes this engine unique and separates it from the rest of the pack. An engine stroke refers to a single complete up and down movement of the piston inside an engine cylinder. During the movement of the piston, a magical dance takes place within the walls of the engine. Air and fuel get sucked in, compressed, ignited, and then the resulting hot gases push the piston back down, creating power. Most gasoline engines you see powering cars and lawnmowers today rely on a four-stroke cycle to achieve this. We'll get to that in a moment. But the idea of a one-stroke engine raised an immediate red flag in our minds the moment we heard it. How can everything be done in just one stroke? You see, INN Engine's E-Rex has a revolutionary opposed piston engine design that breaks away from the traditional four-stroke cycle that has become the norm since the 1900s and also challenges the limitations of two-stroke engines you'd commonly find in dirt bikes and lawnmowers. While the INN engine shares some similarities with already existing opposed piston engines like the EcoMotor's OPOC and Acadi's Power designs, this new power plant takes a unique approach by eliminating the crankshafts and replacing them with a system of cam tracks that we haven't seen anywhere else before. The cam track design trades off the complexity of dual crankshafts, making it far more reliable and long-lasting than a traditional engine. However, the true magic behind the INN engine lies in its pistons. Each piston completes a single up and down motion in half an engine revolution, allowing it to perform both the compression, combustion, and exhaustion intake strokes twice as often compared to a traditional four-stroke engine in the same amount of time. The creators of the INN engine also argue that by doubling the strokes per revolution, their design effectively achieves a one-stroke cycle, even though each piston technically completes two strokes per full engine cycle. What do you think of this definition? We certainly think that they've got a point. The piston movement is not the only thing that sets this engine apart from the rest of the options available on the market. Instead of the typical connecting rods that attract pistons to a crankshaft in an inlined or V-shaped engine, the INN power plant utilizes a unique piston carriage system for the same purpose. Each of the four pistons rests on a small, piston-shaped cart that features three rollers. Two wide rollers on the sides of the engine transfer the force from combustion energy to the cam tracks, which essentially act as both the camshaft and output shaft combined into one compact unit. A third, narrower roller interacts with a smaller cam track and helps it complete the piston separation after the exhaust gases have been pushed out of the combustion chamber. The makers of the INN engine claim that the force of the exhaust gases rushing out creates sufficient vacuum to draw in fresh air for the next combustion cycle, while also tossing in the fact that supercharging is certainly a possibility for the future if you are seeking additional power. The cam tracks themselves are a key innovation in this engine's design. Each main cam track connects to the engine's output shaft via a custom-made angled gear, which allows for moving collars that can adjust the timing of both the left and right cam tracks. By fine-tuning the position of these collars, the INN engine can alter the gap between the intake and exhaust strokes by up to 12.8 degrees, something we haven't seen in the history of the internal combustion engine so far. This adjustability has significant implications for how this power power plant can be used in the future. For example, when using this engine as the main power source of a vehicle, the E-REX can be configured for different operating conditions. A lower compression ratio of around 9.1 to 1 can be paired with forced induction methods like supercharging or turbocharging for a high power output under your right foot, while a higher compression ratio of up to 16.7 to 1 can be utilized with minimal or no boost in naturally aspired form for maximum efficiency in scenarios where raw power is less important. The elimination of a crankshaft and the use of cam tracks in the INN engine has more than its fair share of potential benefits. First, the design is inherently more compact and lighter compared to a traditional four-stroke engine. This weight and size reduction comes in clutch for applications where maximizing space and minimizing weight is ideal, such as electric vehicles where the INN engine would function as a range extender, or in drones where weight reduction is the name of the game. Speaking of using this single-stroke INN engine in automobiles, its reciprocating masses and perfectly balanced internals will make it the smoothest engine around when Toyota finally brings it to market. Additionally, the lack of a crankshaft further reduces the number of moving parts, potentially leading to an even smoother operation with fewer vibrations. The INN engine has already been successfully tested in a Mazda Miata, and if this is a sign of things to come, this can easily become the second coming of the rotary engine revolution. Thermally efficient combustion is another key advantage of this engine. Unlike traditional internal combustion engines where combustion heat can excessively warm the cylinder head, the E-REX distributes the force of combustion equally between two opposing pistons. This allows for a more efficient transfer of heat energy directly to the pistons, reducing the overall thermal load on the engine block while also eliminating the need for extreme cooling systems. All this translates to improved fuel efficiency and potentially lower emissions, two things that most people have come to expect in this day and age where EVs are being shoved down our throats. Symmetrical power takeoff is another exciting possibility that has been unlocked by this engine's unique design. By gearing the two cam tracks together, the INN engine eliminates the complex pushrod mechanisms or the need for additional gearing, which is typically required to link the power from individual pistons to a central crankshaft. Not only does this simplify the engine design, but it also opens doors for unique power delivery configurations which we haven't seen before. For example, a longitudinally placed INN engine could split power in a 50-50 ratio between the two cam tracks, sending it directly to the front and rear axles for an all-wheel drive setup for maximum traction. Durability is another area where this engine shines above the rest. As you might already know, traditional internal combustion engines rely on poppet valves to control intake and exhaust. These valves can accumulate carbon deposits over time, leading to performance issues and requiring maintenance as the engine ages. The single-stroke INN engine eliminates this problem entirely by doing away with valves altogether. Not only does the removal of the valve simplify the engine design, but it also reduces the risk of having to spend thousands of dollars on potential future maintenance needs. Toyota is also quick to point out that this engine boasts impressive specific power. But what exactly is specific power? Well, this refers to the amount of power an engine can produce relative to its weight. By completely eliminating the need for a separate valve train and cylinder head, and due to the simple connection between the cam tracks, the INN engine achieves a remarkable power density compared to other engines. However, it's not all sunshine and daisies. The revolutionary single-stroke design also presents some challenges that must be addressed before Toyota can bring it to mass production. For starters, the use of cam tracks instead of a crankshaft introduces a potential increase in friction, which could affect overall engine efficiency, and the need to maintain effective lubrication on the cam tracks should also be addressed. Additionally, the power delivery through the cam tracks might differ from a traditional crankshaft setup, which could potentially require some tuning adjustments in how power is transmitted to the wheels. This unique design also holds this engine back in the torque department. You see, the crankshaft is a vital element in producing torque, and with the INN engine eliminating it completely, it would be a while before we start seeing these powertrains in heavy machinery or even pickup trucks that require heaps of pulling power. Overall, the INN engine and Toyota's promise to bring it to production represent a bold and innovative approach to internal combustion engine design that we haven't seen since the introduction of the Wankel rotary engine. By eliminating the crankshaft and utilizing a unique cam track system, this new engine aims to achieve a more compact, efficient, and adaptable engine that can take the fight to EVs. While the design offers promising advantages, it also introduces new engineering hurdles, which the engineers at Toyota are hard at overcoming as we speak. Whether the INN engine can overcome these challenges and become a viable alternative in the automotive industry remains to be seen. Only time and further development will tell if this one-stroke engine can truly revolutionize the way we power our vehicles in the future. Let us know your thoughts about this innovative engine concept, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting content just like this.